West Germany, and something very special is about to take place. Equestrians from around the globe have gathered here for the Weltmeisterschaft Spring Rider, the World Horse Jumping Championships. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Vern Lundquist. Welcome to Aachen, West Germany, site of the 1986 World Horse Jumping Championships. Riders from 23 nations have gathered here for one of the most significant events in equestrian sport, an event which is held only every 4 years. Competition will take place in both team and individual categories. Aachen is to horse jumping as Augusta is to golf. So we have had crowds in excess of 45,000 each day of the competition. Our expert analyst is Robert Ridland, twice a member of our U.S. Olympic team. Robert, what are the prospects for the American team here?
Well, the Americans are the team everybody's watching. 2 years ago in L.A., the U.S. team absolutely dominated. They've won numerous World Cups, which are annual events. However, they have never won a world championship. So history is really against them over here.
Who might be the favorites here then?
Well, I would say the British, who were last year's European champions, the French, who are undefeated this year, and of course the Americans.
Let's meet the American team right now.
Conrad Humfeld, individual silver medalist and team gold medalist from the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles, two-time World Cup champion and the anchor rider for the American team.
I think you could equate the World Championships to our Super Bowl, the World Cup, Soccer World Cup, winning at Wimbledon. It's a major, major event in this sport.
Katie Monahan, two-time Rider of the Year on the American Grand Prix circuit, an experienced international rider in her first World Championships. But she's concerned about the different course conditions here at Aachen.
When you come to these big fields in Europe, the terrain is different, the water jumps are different. Here at Aachen, it's very famous for having a lake in the middle of the course. And all that natural stuff spooks some of the horses, and our horses in America aren't used to seeing all the natural jumps.
Michael Matz, Olympic veteran from the Games in Montreal, individual bronze medalist from the 1978 World Championships. He knows the importance of this event.
Can't get any higher than this. The Olympics, certainly that ranks very high, but that's just supposedly for amateurs. And this is for amateurs and professionals.
Catherine Birdsall, the youngest of the American riders who made her Grand Prix debut just 2 years ago. And although the United States has never won a world championship, she sees that as an incentive.
It's gonna make us be a little bit more competitive and want it a little harder, hopefully. Maybe we can turn it into an edge, you know, that maybe we want it more than they do.
And the American coach, Frank Chapeau, who led the U.S. to gold in the L.A. Olympics, and he's confident.
I think we have a very good chance to win it all, probably the best chance to win it all. I think we've aimed for this event. Our preparation has been good. Everything has happened the way we wanted to so far. Now what we need is a little luck. And they need a whole lot of luck.
So the 1986 World Horse Jumping Championships are about to begin. We'll be back in Aachen, West Germany right after this.
This CBS Sports Special, the 1986 World Horse Jumping Championships, is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz, automotive sponsor of the World Horse Jumping Championships, and by exceptionally smooth Michelob. It could make tonight the best part of your day.
Eight long years of development have created the Mercedes-Benz 300E. It moves from 0 to 55 in a stunning 7.5 seconds. It moves performance sedan engineering into a new dimension. And it returns to 0 with computerized ABS anti-lock brakes. The 300E sedan.
If you think physical fitness can help you get ahead in business, subscribe to the Wall Street Journal and see what mental fitness can do.
Call 800-228-8888. 8-500 for this special introductory offer. 13 weeks for just $29.50 with a money-back guarantee. 13 weeks, $29.50. Phone 800-228-8500 now for the Wall Street Journal.
We're back in Aachen, and Katie Monahan is first up for the American team.
Okay, Katie. Good one. Nail it down for us.
We have completed 2 rounds, 1 round to go. The United States team currently on top, followed by Great Britain and then France. You'll notice that the faults have been carried out to the hundredths of a point. That's because in the first round, riders were graded on a curve based on the top competitor's performance. That will not be the case here in the final round. The scoring system is easier to understand. An obstacle knockdown results in 4 faults. First refusal, 3 faults. A second refusal, 6. A third refusal results in elimination. Horse and water, 4 faults. If either the rider or horse fall on the course, 8 faults. And if the horse and rider exceed the course time limit, that results in a 1/4 fault per second. Now, Robert, take us through the course description.
As you can see from the aerial view of the course starts near the main grandstand side, over 2 jumps, followed by 2 more, which are relatively easy. The first difficult jump is the 5th jump, a big vertical wall, followed by the widest jump so far, an oxer, which is a width jump. An S-turn to the triple combination, very difficult, very tricky. Up over 2 more jumps before the 2 massive jumps over water, right there. The horses then get a breather around the lake, 2 more jumps before the riders have to gun at 16 feet of water, fence number 13, slam on the brakes for the highest jump on the course and through the finish line. 14 numbered obstacles, 17 jumping efforts, and a time limit of 110 seconds.
Now time for Katie Monahan riding Amadea, owned by Willowwood and Mrs. Lawrence Rahuba. In the first round, 3.92, 8 faults in the second round.
Well, this is Katie's first time in the World Championships, and she's really been holding up her own so far. She's now approaching the 3rd fence. These first 4 jumps really set the tone for the course. Get a horse used to the environment, but they are not the major problems.
Here comes the first major problem, right, Robert?
This is the big wall. This is maximum height, and those blocks on top, although they're made out of wood, so they don't hurt the horses, move easily. You see her rub that right there. A little bit harder rub, and that would have come down.
The oxer, which is a width jump, and the American team looking on, except Conrad Homfeld can't bear to watch.
Well, I don't think he wants to. This is the tricky approach to the triple combination. 1 stride in and 2 out.
Oh, she just nicked the rail and it did fall. That's 4 faults.
Now, Katie's going to have to keep her composure. 4 faults is a very usable score. Got 1 jump coming up before the second major test on the course. The 2 big jumps over water, which for most horses is very long. Right there, in and out. Boy, that was easy.
Very well done.
Most of these horses have been really struggling over that second oxer because it is so long coming out.
Might point out that all 4 riders for each team compete, but the highest score is thrown out. Only the 3 low scores count toward the team competition.
Now here comes the last line. 16 feet of water, maximum width. And now the last jump.
Oh, dear.
Well, that's too bad. She really had that in the bag.
And that counts as a refusal. That's 3 faults.
And she still has to jump it.
Safely over, but a little disheartened, I'm sure, for Katie Monahan. Total faults 9, 7 on the course, and 2 for exceeding the time limit. Let's see, Robert, if we can determine exactly what happened here.
Well, it's tough to figure out what did happen. It looks like the horse got distracted right here on the approach. As she's taken back, he slips right there as she's setting up for the jump. And that's a refusal.
Consolation for Katie Monahan from her teammate Conrad Homfeld, who's still to ride. Now one of the better British riders, Nick Skelton, 29 years of age, riding Raffles Apollo. In the first round, 3.88, and only 1 fault in the second round.
Nick was the #1 rider in the world last year. So he can really put the pressure on the Americans. You see how much the British riders ride from their hands. They really kill the action for the sake of accuracy.
So there is such a thing as a British style.
Well, at least a strategy today. He was 4 seconds over the time limit earlier, and it looks like he's duplicating that technique right now. He would rather not knock the jumps down and forsake a little on the time limit, because those time penalties are very minor.
Now Skelton approaches perhaps the most difficult combination on the course.
Very careful going in.
Oof. Oh, that's superb.
Boy, it made that look easy.
It's almost as if that horse explodes out of his control, isn't it?
Well, he like exploded over the middle part of that combination and just settled right back, which is what that instant control accomplishes. 2 jumps over water coming up.
A near perfect ride so far for Nick Skelton. And this would really apply pressure on the United States' hopes for winning its first World Horse Jumping Team Championship.
Now this is the rest part of the course.
And now the final drive. Safely over 13. And a clean ride for Nick Skelton. Marvelously well done. He does exceed the time limit, so he draws 1 fault.
Boy, what an accurate ride. That was a carbon copy of his first ride, down to the 100th of a second.
And that drops the American team to 2nd place. We'll be back in Aachen in just a moment.
90 seconds.
Michelob. It could make tonight the best part of your day.
Mercedes-Benz was building sports sedans before there was such a term as sports sedan. Experience pays. The Mercedes-Benz 190 class. The heart of a sports sedan, the soul of a Mercedes-Benz, the 190 class. Something more than a sports sedan, nothing less than a Mercedes-Benz.
Great Britain currently first, the Americans second. The Americans have come a long way. Robert, how do the horses get here?
Actually, Vern, it's a very interesting process. Before they even leave their stalls, their legs are wrapped with protective bandages to avoid injury. Then they're loaded on a van where 8 of them share the same taxi to the airport. Their confirmed reservations were made well in advance. And 2.5 hours before departure time, these VIPs skip the metal detector and go right to their own personal gate. They are then taken to a special cargo loading area where they are transferred to their first-class seats, which are called pallets. The horses are then given a mild tranquilizer to calm them for what could be a rough takeoff or severe turbulence. Each horse has its own handler who rides in the pallet to assure a smooth transfer. In the old days, horses traveled by boat. But today, the trip is a quick 7 hours, and they don't get seasick. No bonus mileage on this trip, but all in all, a comfortable journey across the Atlantic.
Oh, first class. There is somebody waiting on them hand and hoof the whole time that they're in the air. It's really super, the treatment that they're given.
Here is a horse that is given super treatment, the Natural, ridden by Catherine Birdsall, owned by Mr. and Mrs. Paul Greenwood. $1 million horse. And the United States really needs a good ride from Catherine Birdsall now because of Katie Monahan's misfortune.
And that's a really rough position to put Catherine in. She's never competed in Europe before, let alone the World Championships.
Doing well early on. Robert, how much is the horse and how much the rider?
Well, it's really a 50-50 proposition. The rider is responsible for the approach, putting that horse in the ideal